There have been numerous films out there about giant robots, but what would happen if one is a killing machine and that someone who happens to be the only person that's well handle this is on a big mission with the army rangers and his team gets attacked and he's the only one who manages to get through. I found out how that goes in War Machine, now streaming on Netflix. But is this new sci-fi action thriller a good intense thrill ride to experience for a little old school moments of some of those good flicks with big giant machine robots and what have you? Or is this one completely run out of ammo? Find out in the spoiler free review right now. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. I'm the Big D, and this time around, I bring to you a spoiler free review of the 2026 sci fi action flick War Machine, released by Netflix along with Lionsgate here in the US and by Roadshow Films in Australia. The film was directed by Patrick Hughes, who co produced and co wrote the screenplay with James Beaufort. The film stars Alan Ritchson, Dennis Quaid, Stephan James, Jai Courtney, Esai Morales, Keiynan Lonsdale, and Daniel Weber. The film got released, well, actually, a month ago in Australia, and it just got released on Netflix a week ago on March 6th. And it's gotten some good reviews. Now, I'll only give you a little bit of this story. In Afghanistan, an unnamed staff sergeant arrives to help his brother's broken down convoy. His brother tries to convince him that they should apply to become Army Rangers when they are attacked by Taliban insurgents. Everyone is killed except the sergeant, who suffers a knee injury. He tries to carry his mortally wounded brother back to the base, but passes out before making it. When he wakes up in the hospital, he learns that his brother has already died, but he is awarded the Silver Star. 2 years later, the sergeant attends RASP to join the 75th Ranger Regiment. Now, of course, RASP means Ranger Assessment and Selection Program, and is given the candidate number of 81. Excels at training but does not bond with his fellow recruits and refuses the role of team leader despite his record. Well, soon after he allows himself to nearly drown during an underwater exercise, regiment leaders Sergeant Major Sheridan and First Sergeant Torres question his mental state over his PTSD, and since he stepped down from the program to recuperate, but refuses, but allow him to advance and assign him team leader for the final exercise, a simulated mission in the force to destroy a classified aircraft and rescue its pilot. Around that time, reports come out of a suspected asteroid revolving around the planet, breaking off in pieces. And during the exercise, the team is startled by an unknown blast in the sky, which knocks out communications and finds a strange looking object by the creek, which the team believes is the classified aircraft. Well, after detonating with explosives, it remains undamaged and transforms into a walking machine that starts killing the team. They are unable to fight back as they are carrying blank rounds. Now, that's all the story I will give to you. If you want to know the rest of the story, please watch the movie. But I will say this War Machine is a real killer machine. Now, for my thoughts on War Machine, I thought it was actually pretty good and what have you. I mean, it's gotten good reviews. I mean, what they praise it as a fun, old school throwback action movie despite its familiar formulaic storyline. Though it did well worldwide at the box office, being released only in Australia, I'd say. Yeah, because it was released theatrically in Australia as it made over 57,000, but no report budget though. But still, I must admit it proved to have lots of good action. I mean, with this bit, it kind of makes me feel like I'm seeing a mix of various movies we've seen with so much killer robots, like the Terminator, or heck, even with its great weaponry, the Predator movies. Because believe me, this war machine can really emit a really powerful kind of like a little scan thing. Looks blue at first, but when it turns red when it encounters human life, yeah. But I'm not really going to tell you how that happens. You need to see the movie to see that. And I must warn you, this film does have some pretty grisly images and whatever, so you better be careful when watching this. Seriously, because this thing can really cause serious issues. Just like how the lasers with the Predator had, if you've seen the first film or any of the others. Now, reviews are pretty good. Rotten Tomatoes has a score of 70%, saying providing Alan Ritchson an ideal vehicle to flex his brawny charisma. The film occasionally clanks when it comes to character depth, but otherwise soldiers on to deliver an awesome dose of action spectacle. Metacritic has a score of 54. Now, of course, this wouldn't be the first time where I've seen a lot of action occur during training. Of course, I've also seen this before in, well, a war film from the early 2000s called Tigerland, which I haven't seen in years. But anyway, yeah, yeah, it's something like that. If you blended it into a little bit of that into the story, but of course, this takes place in the present day, I do believe. But anywho, I found the War Machine to be pretty awesome. Now, of course, there has been possibilities of a sequel. Following the release of it, the director and actor Alan Ritchson indicated that plans for future installments had already been developed. So I think there's possibly going to be some more of this, but I'm not really going to tell you what that's like. You're just going to have to see the movie though to figure that out. Okay? So, what's the movie for yourself? I will say it has a good score from Dmitry Golovko. Pretty good. Now, the director of the film, who also co-wrote the screenplay and wrote the story and co-produced the film, is Patrick Hughes, who recently directed The Expendables 3 and The Hitman's Bodyguard and its sequel, The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. I will say he does a good job in his direction of this film. Very good. Now, for the cast, I am going to say we have Alan Ritchson as Staff Sergeant 81. After The Spy, I was not really imp- now, even though I had liked him in some of the movies he did before this, like he had voiced Raphael in the 2014 TMNT reboot and its sequel, he also appeared in Catching Fire, the second installment of the Hunger Games series, and Fast X. Well, the spy was not really thrilled with his last film, which was the Prime Video original film Playdate, which was released last year. At least this is where he redeems himself at. And I must say, he does one hell of a job. Now, which does bring me to a little bit of another issue with the film, is because most of the characters are named with numbers and why we don't even know the actual names of some of these characters and why have you, which that's kind of a major issue with the film. However, we still have a good cast. Dennis Quaid plays Sergeant Major Sheridan. I gotta give him credit for his work. Stars Staff Sergeant 7 is played by Stephan James, who I seem to know this character, well, this guy from, I think. Well, I'm just trying to see. Well, he has been in some films and what have you, including Selma, When the Game Stands Tall, and many others and what have you. So yeah, so he's pretty good. Playing SSG 81's brother is Jai Courtney, who of course played Eric Coulter in the Divergent series, and Kyle Reese in Terminator Genesis, as well as Captain Boomerang in both Suicide Squad and The Suicide Squad. I gotta give him props. He does good. Esai Morales plays First Sergeant Torres. Pretty good. Keiynan, Lonsdale. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that first name. Played 60, and Daniel Weber played 57. So overall, I think the cast is pretty good, and I really do think throwback action in this film is absolutely incredible. Yeah, it makes you feel like you're seeing something like Predator all over again, except with a big, well, mech and what have you. I kind of would say it's a robot or a mech. But anyway, I think this film's pretty enjoyable. If you can handle intense stuff like that with grisly images and what have you, but with good action and what have you, then I say this is worth looking into. War Machine's pretty awesome. I gotta give it credit for that. The cast is pretty good. Story's not too bad. I mean, it kind of feels like you're seeing stuff all over again, but nevertheless, I didn't find much of a problem with that. So this is worth looking into. The film's currently on Netflix. It's doing pretty well, so maybe there's a possibility we will get sequels down the road. For my score, I'm going to give War Machine 4 stars. I was almost getting carried away to go my scale of 1 to 10 score first. Whoops. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving it an 8.5. So what did you think of War Machine? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, and you know the rest. Please stand by. Okay, join me next time when I bring to you another spoiler-free review, and it will be on the Academy Award-nominated film Hamnet. So be on the lookout for that. So if you like this, check out my reviews for these other films. I might as well give you some of these films if you like, well, stuff that involves robots or even intense violence. In the upper left-hand corner, you can check out my review of the one that started off for this franchise in live-action form, Transformers from 2007. The upper right-hand corner is my review of the original classic itself, Predator from 1987. Or if you would like, go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my review for this is actually the most viewed film, well, review for this franchise from Lionsgate, and that's my review of The Expendables 3. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.